Hi there, good morning, and thank you for stopping by my channel. This is Jenny, and I have an Oracle Energy update for the week of October 7th. And I want to start with that I originally had planned for myself to do a mini sabbatical through October 14th. And I still am planning on doing a sabbatical, taking like a leave from my day-to-day activities to dive more into personal prayer and inner workings and diving into some literature that I've been trying to finish up on and whatnot. I started my sabbatical, I would say last Friday, and because I decided to take a leave from my day-to-day work, it allowed my mind, my soul, and my spirit to take a rest and not have to be alert and to be on guard and to be constantly catching and thinking and hearing what I need to download. I just said, I'm taking a break, and, Divine made me feel very comfortable with this. Yes, you can have a break. And it was like the ego mask was coming off, in a sense, where it was like taking off that worker's cap. Like the spiritual worker's cap is off. I'm just going to go with the flow. And what it did was it stopped me from having high expectations or needing to think what is happening next. I just was. And I was just going with the flow and doing things at a flow state. I was moving through my day very free, without expectation. So in turn of events, what it did was it opened me up to receiving downloads from divine and spirit so much more naturally and unforced. God works in mysterious ways. Divine wanted me to say that. God works in mysterious ways. So, in a turn of events, I was led to discussing a topic that I had downloaded around a year ago. Right around this time a year ago, I had a download and I wrote a lot of information down about it. But at that time, on my journey, I was not speaking yet in front of a camera. I wasn't even doing recordings, like voiceovers, such as this. So I didn't know how to get the information out. I was scared because I had a lot to unpack, but I didn't know how to put it down in words on paper or where to publish it, where it would be received in the right manner. So a year later, I get a nudge from Divine to speak on this topic, finally. And it's interesting for me that they would nudge me on this topic now, because when I got the download, it came at the end of a long day of being a part of a community and going from event to event where charity was happening, charity events. And it was kind of like an aha moment seeing like a progression over the last year of when I first got the download and understanding it as the way they explained it. And now, a year later, understanding it on such a deeper level. So the message that they want me to talk about with you today is on tithing and on prayer. So with tithing, we have been, if you have been brought up in the church, the Catholic Church, I'm not sure about all denominations of Catholicism, but I do know that in many different churches, tithing is often talked about. I know when I was young, I was taught what tithing was. And the way that it's taught, at least in parochial or Catholic schools and churches, is that you give 10% of your earnings back to the church. And, when I got this download, I kind of skimmed through the Bible and found like different places where they speak on tithing. And so the way it's broken down is 10% of your earnings go back to the church. So over the years, having been brought up in Catholic school and having gone, as an adult, I had moved around to different denominations just to see what the differences were and what the similarities were, kind of my own personal journey and observations of different religions, not just Catholicism, but other religions as well. And I had found that was heavily pushed at services or church masses, whatever, that they would talk about it and then they would pass their baskets around, kind of like a, hey, hint, hint, donate back to the church. But the way that Divine has given it to me is that it's not so verbatim. A lot of times, things we read in scripture or in any book isn't as it is written, it's as it's felt, like energy. How does it make you feel? What are you actually feeling from the scripture versus what is the scripture saying to you? Like, rather than reading it, Mary grabbed the dog, there could be a deeper meaning to it versus Mary grabbed the dog. As an example, I know it's pretty basic. But the Divine is saying, basically, so I'm not sitting here beating around the bush, is that one, there are several ways of giving back to the church, and it's financial is only one of them. You have your 3D financial, you have your 5D energetic, and then you have your spiritual. And so if you work, say you work endless amount of hours around the clock and you make a good amount of money, but you don't have time to give to someone in need, or you don't have time to help someone in need, you would be more apt to taking the money that you worked so hard for and applying it towards that particular individual or charity. Because time is energy, and energy equals money. It doesn't have to be 3D money. It can be spiritual abundance. So if you don't work, but you have all the time in the world, and you would say, well, I can't give 10% of what I have, I barely have anything, then you would be more apt to giving your time in services. Now, say you don't have money, and say you just don't have the means, the skill sets, the abilities. Perhaps you're disabled, perhaps you're ill, perhaps you just maybe you have 7 children at home and you don't have the opportunity to go out and serve, then spiritually you would be asked to open up your heart and with every ounce of intent and love, pray for the healing of or the help of an individual or a group of people or whatever it is that you are trying to help with. So that being said, they want you to remember that 10% of what you earn doesn't have to be 3-dimensional cash, 3-dimensional monetary exchange. It can be exchange of energy. Because again, your time is valuable. So if all you have is time and skill sets, and you go about your week and all you do is focus on yourself, Divine is saying, take a little bit of your time and help someone. And it doesn't have to be big, grand gestures either. You don't have to seek out organizations or charity events in order to involve yourself and give back. Let's use examples because I'm really good with that. Say, for example, you're sitting in your house and you see a child trying to learn how to ride a bike. So you know what? You decide to go outside and give them a hand. Or say you are at the store and you see someone struggling to get their groceries into the back of their car. You offer to help, ask permission, because nowadays people are very leery and scared to accept help because they never know. But offer. Let them see your light. Let them see that you're kind and that you're helpful. Offer to put the groceries in their car. Or you have a relative that is in need or is lonely. Perhaps pay them a visit and spend time with them and let them talk about whatever it is they want to talk about. That is giving back to the church, because while we always have read it in the Bible as verbatim, the church as a building, an institution, the church is all those that are connected through Christ consciousness, all those that are a part of this bigger picture of life, that we're all interconnected, we're all one. So giving back to our fellow brothers and sisters, our fellow man, our fellow woman, it's not necessarily an institution that we need to give back to. It's the people that belong to the whole body. So that's something they really wanted me to stress is, while yes, it's very good to give to places of worship if you are a regular member and you go there and you're seeing that the monies is going towards good causes, but don't just let it stop there. Your time, your services, your prayers are a big one. People don't pray enough. They like things that people say, will you pray for me? And they'll go on social media and they'll like it. But do they actually stop and say a heartfelt prayer afterwards towards that individual? These are things Spirit recognizes that people just aren't doing. No one is praying as much as they need to at this time. And there is a lot of people out there right now in this world that need our prayers more than anything. And we need to call on divine for intervention and assistance in these matters, because there are some situations that we can't physically insert ourselves into. We cannot do anything about physically. So this is where we need to up our prayer warriors and our prayer teams and really, really get that out there for divine intervention and helping in these matters. They want to help, but they can't move here without permissions from us to move in this world. We have to call upon them to help in these situations. So that is something that has been pushed and pushed and pushed for me to get out to you. And I'm just hoping that I was able to explain it in the most comprehensible way, and as quickly as I can without, beating around the bush for too long on the topic. Just, do what you can. Do something, though. They don't want you to sit around waiting for the opportune time to finally step up and help, because help is needed around every corner. Opportunities will reveal themselves to you almost every moment of the day if you're open to it. And when you do give back and you do finally start giving to your fellow brothers and sisters in little ways that could be huge to them, divine recognizes that, and karma will be coming back to you in a good way. And Spirit will be protecting you and helping you become abundant in great ways. Blessings will start unfolding for you in your life, and you'll feel good about it too. Just helping someone else will open up your heart chakra. These are the things that start moving our world into a positive direction. So that is your message for Monday. I really hope it helped, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.